Hello, everyone. It's me. Can you see me? You see me? You see what's happening here? This is what happens when everything works. Everything goes properly. This is interesting. It's been so long. Hello, everyone. George, Lube Helios, Undercover Brother. Hello to you all. Joy, thank you so much for the sub, man. Tier 1 for 7 months. What a pro. Are you feeling better? Yeah. I still don't feel great, but I feel good enough to do stuff like this. So, that's pretty helpful. Salvin in the chat. Wow, hello. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Much love to you too as well, Jax. Hope you have a good rest of your day, man. Force split right shift? Yeah, I'm probably going to wind up going HHKB layout on this. Just so I don't have to lube another stabilizer. Captain Schwa with a tier 1 sub for 28 months in a row. Thanks, man. Glad to see you still around. Through thick and thin, you've been through it all. If you hate lubing stabs, you should move on to ortho. I do have a Prionic that needs to be rebuilt. Brian build stream. I know, right? It's finally happening. I don't always have things to build, and I don't currently offer any building services because they just weren't quite worth my time, unfortunately. I was charging less than what most other people were charging, but I didn't want to charge more. But it was also taking up a lot of time, so I kind of stopped doing that. So I didn't really have much to build, and then last time I tried to build stream, my capture card died on me. So I had to get a new one, and now things are looking good, though. I can try to get back in the swing of things. I do have a few boards coming in, so I can actually do some building. I can break your fingers, and you can build my Singa. I think the Singa will probably do enough of that. The Singa plate is like the tightest plate I've ever experienced. I never want to build another Singa ever again. What are the switches lubed with? The switches are lubed with... That's a good question. 3203, I believe. That certainly feels right. Like a somewhat lighter grease. Pretty sure it's 3203, or it might be like Crystal Lube 111 or something. You guys are silly. Alright. I still have a few minutes before my official start time, so... Just gonna casually drink some water here. Shout out to r/hydro homies. Time for you to get a drink? Yes, absolutely. It's Friday night. Everyone, please enjoy a nice beverage. It's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. I lose track of days sometimes. I wish I could be enjoying an adult beverage, but alas. Brian, what is the next key set group buy you were looking forward to? I don't know. Yesterday, I actually I joined GMK Ursa, and I joined GMK Olivia Dark because I wanted that dark kit. Price was too hard to pass up, so I bought those two. But as far as the next keyboard or key set group buy I'm looking forward to, what am I looking forward to key set wise? That's a good question. I haven't really thought about it. I'd probably say God, what's coming out that isn't already in group buy? You guys really got me thinking here. GMK Ashes? Ashes looks pretty good. Any of the cat sets coming up interest you? I'm interested in anything cat profile. Kind of like, so yesterday I said on the show that I don't really care about colorways for key sets anymore, and that's totally true. It sounds so silly and so stupid, but like I don't really look at key sets and judge them by colorways anymore. I judge them by the way they make me feel, and that often has to do with the theme behind them, the designer behind them, the people involved. I'm starting to see key sets for a lot more than just their colors because I don't know. I've seen so many colorways now. I just don't really care. All colorways are pretty much equally good and bad in my eyes these days. So as far as cat sets, I'm more looking forward to the fact that more cat sets are getting on the market, which I think is a lot more important than particularly what colors they are. As long as people are happy with the colors, though, I feel like that's a good thing. GMK Apollo. I don't even remember what that looks like. I want GMK Green Tea to go into group buy. That's what I want to happen. Brian has ascended. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a better outlook to have on colorways. I miss being like, oh my god, I like this colorway and I like that colorway and I hate that colorway. I kind of miss that. Now I just see key sets and it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter what colors they are. I feel like even when that is the case, though, the colors need to be good enough to not get in the way of the theme, if that makes sense. Yeah. I guess for me, it's just, it's how relevant is the key set to me. Like, is it a theme I care about? Can the designer make me care about it if I'm not already invested in that in some format? Yeah. Yeah, and value too. What kind of price am I paying for the set? Is it a really good deal per key? Is it a really bad deal per key? MT3 SNES. I don't really like typing on MT3. I think MT3 is actually very good, but because I don't type properly, it kind of messes with my fingers a lot. Daft Profit in the house, subscribing at Tier 1 for 4 months. Looking forward to the build, he says. Thank you so much, man. I am too. This build has just been like sitting next to me for, I don't know, a month now, 2 months now. I've been trying to build it and like something goes wrong every single time. So I don't know if this is cursed or I'm cursed. Maybe a little of both. You're sad I moved to MT3. Yeah, the Philco Legends do look a little bit better on SA, in my opinion. I don't know. I think MT3 is more pleasant to type on than SA, though. Was this the one you used a bunch of rubber bands on as the gas? Yeah. So this is the second version. So the design is actually a little bit different. This is quite a bit cleaner. The sides are a little bit more flared. As you can see here, it kind of comes out in the middle. So that way it kind of gives a stared effect, a tiered effect. I don't know what you want to call it. And there's standoffs now in here, so it's a lot easier to actually assemble. I don't know if you guys remember watching me put together the V1, but it was kind of a nightmare. But this should be a little bit easier. I have tested the PCB. Stabilizers are already clipped and lubed and installed. Switches are already lubed, so this should be a fairly pain-free build. I should get through it pretty quick and efficiently. I was sent 2 plates. This is the acrylic one that, of course, matches the frosted acrylic case. I thought about using that. I'm okay with acrylic plates. I got no issues with that. But he also sent along a PLA plate. So if you're not familiar with PLA, it's effectively just 3D printed plastic. And I'm curious to try this because it's incredibly flexible. It kind of reminds me a lot of polycarbonate in terms of the flex factor. And it feels pretty soft, so I want to see if I can get some real flex going on in here. So I'm going to opt for the PLA plate on this one. Almost looks like a clavier board. It's not actually. I don't think he did the cuts for this. This one was through Slippery Pete ED, and I don't know exactly who cut these, but the group I ran through him. I know that you like Cat, Brian. Are you planning on getting Cat Explosion? I don't remember. I feel like I didn't really care for the way the set looked, but I do like the theme. So maybe? I think that's just how I have to decide on key sets now. I need to put colorway completely aside and ask myself if I like all the other elements and factors within the key set. Let me look up Cat Explosion here because I don't really remember what it looks like. I do like Konosuba. Okay, yeah, this is the one that I thought looked kind of similar to Red Samurai. Megumin is best girl, so yeah, maybe I would buy this set. Maybe I would. Needs more renders though. Where are the rest of the renders? Oh wait, there they are. They're just hidden in there. Yeah, I don't know about the Japanese mono legends, but I kind of like the set with the normal Latin legends. Novelties are pretty solid. I would certainly consider getting that set. Absolutely. Also, total side note, but I'm just going to put this straw pull in here because I know it does bother some people. So I have some music on right now. Obviously, you can probably hear it. If you want me to turn that off, let me know. If you're okay with the music, let me know using that straw pull. And if you don't care, then leave it alone. Can't hear any music? Oh, it's kind of quiet right now. It's in between songs. Give it a second. I do have the music turned down quite a bit in OBS. Let me turn that up just a little bit. I know, but I know when I stream, it's always the music's always controversial. Some people are like, "Why are you playing music?" And other people are like, "Yes, keep it on." So I figured that would just be nice to do a straw poll and ask. Never used Cat, but as you said, Megumin best girl. Yeah. Yeah. And Cat is amazing. I think Cat looks fantastic. And it feels fantastic. The PBT is ridiculously smooth. The cap feels dense. It feels premium. I love Cat Profile. I don't like it quite as much to type on as Cherry, but it's definitely a very close second, which is a lot more that I can say than like every other profile, basically. The thing about Cat is it looks kind of similar to SA because it's a little bit taller, so you get that nice kind of classic vibe from it, but it doesn't feel like shit to type on like SA does, so you get the best of both worlds. It types great and it looks great, and that's good value last I checked. Okay. Let's figure out how to build this thing, shall we? So I'm actually going to be reusing an old Waldo 60 PCB. This PCB, I think, was a B-stock unit. It's kind of a piece of crap, but it does work. It does have underglow too, which is the main reason why I'm using it in here, so I can make a little bit more use of this frosted acrylic. And of course, like I mentioned, I already have some tuned stabilizers on there. And because I'm lazy and I don't want to lube another stabilizer for the backspace, I'm going to go with an HHKB layout here, which this plate should support just fine. That's the hope, at least. Very nice. I'm going to need some tools, because I'm going to have to take this back apart. I have it, like, kind of half put together right now. I have a few of the screws in, but not all of them. I need to open that up. Got my solder over there. Perfect. I haven't built a keyboard in a while. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. There's my spare parts for the case. I got my bands as well. So if you're unfamiliar with the way this design works, this was basically Slippery Pete's idea of bringing gasket mount, or whatever you want to call it, to a very, very low price point. So the whole setup here is about $100 in group buy, which is significantly cheaper than all the other gasket mount style boards on the market that are generally anywhere, you know, $250, $350, $400+. So the idea here was to get this into the low end of the market, so other people that only had $100 or so to spend can actually get a gasket mount experience of some sort. I do have the original Perry60 here. It's a little dusty, actually, because it's been sitting down to my left. But I did build the original Perry60, and there are quite a few issues, but the typing experience overall is actually pretty solid for $100. So I'm hoping with a lot of those issues fixed, this should actually be a much more definitive version. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build up the plate PCB assembly, then I'm going to take this apart, and then we're going to put the bands on the plate, and then we're going to assemble the case. Easy peasy. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. Never actually know what'll happen until it, well, happens. Gonna have to resist the urge to buy basically every cat set. That's gonna be me too. Stash builds boards says, "What's up, brother? Not much, man. Just trying to build a keyboard. Trying being the key word, because I almost don't know what I'm doing anymore because it's been so long." Perry60 still one of the proto units? Yeah, I have one of the old proto units. This one should be quite a bit better. Linears, yep, the IKEA switches, unofficially, I guess you can call them. These have already been lubed. This is going to be my first time, I think, using a PLA plate, thinking back on it. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to go. I think it has a lot of potential. I can't even, no numpad? Yeah, some people need numpads. We're gonna have a Rukia build stream soon. Nice. Rukia should be a pretty cool board. Let me know if the music's too loud for you guys. I feel like it's a little loud now. This plate is incredibly pliable, though, so it's going to be a little difficult to put switches in at the beginning. I need to do this stupid trick where I put switches into the plate first. Music's a little loud. I'll turn it down more. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to put just a few switches in here first, and I'm going to put it onto the PCB so I get a little bit more stability. Alright, nice. Yeah, softer plates are definitely harder to work with, but they can produce some pretty good results, so often I would argue that it's worth it. This plate is very soft. Sometimes you have to use a little prying action. Make sure it actually comes up to the switch. Idea for channel points. 1,000 points to cue a song. I should probably look into that, actually. I don't know how the new channel point system thing works. That's actually fairly new to Twitch, as far as just giving it to random channels, I feel like. So I'll have to look into it and see how it works and what I can actually do with it. Now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, and I'm not just laying in bed sick, dying, I can get around to looking at some of these things. So we need to do custom sub badges as well, some emotes. That's what people keep asking us for. Yeah, the channel points aren't currency, as far as I'm aware. But I see what you're saying, like, as in, you could have, like, people donate bits to cue a song or something. I usually just go to YouTube and pick up like a chill step playlist, a 24/7 chill step playlist. Because I just want something like just for background noise, right? Like you don't want to pay too much attention to it, but you want to know it's there. I know it's not for everyone, but I definitely like it. Daily quest Papega to waste Papega, all of my points Papega. How many do you just get points for just having a Twitch account? I don't, can someone explain to me exactly how it works? Do you have to, you get points by watching streams or just by existing? Do you get points daily or weekly or something else? Just for watching it, basically. It's per channel basis. You have a different number of points for each channel. Okay. Subscribers get more. Okay. You get points for being active and clicking a button every now and then. Alright. Channel specific. You have 30k on Tejas, but only 3k here. Well, I guess he is 10 times the streamer that Clack is, so that would make sense. The math adds up. He streams more? Yeah, that's true. He's doing it full time. One day I can afford to go full time and I can stream a bunch too. That's the goal, right? I mean, he definitely beat us to it, but that's okay. It's not necessarily a race, which is good because otherwise he'd be winning. Teha reviewing Razer keyboards. It's painful to watch. Yeesh. I don't know. I didn't actually watch that. I tend not to catch too many streams these days, unfortunately. I try to stop in when I can. I do like Nathan a lot. I think he's a good dude. And I'm very happy he was able to get to full-time. It's a dream come true for people like us. Welcome, Gio. Hello to you. Nathan's selling out his soul? Is he? I haven't really seen much of his content lately. I can't really imagine Nathan selling out. I don't know. I'm not in his position, so I can't really say. I mean, he's trying to make a career out of it, so I don't know. Is this an IKEA switch? Yeah, kind of. Linears. Yeah, I know Nathan's been doing some other content lately. I saw him, he was streaming games the other day. I mean, when you go full-time and I mean, nothing against what he does, but obviously a lot of his keyboard content, you know, almost all of it is build streams. And while his quality is very good, I mean, I imagine he gets sick of it, just like anyone else would. You gotta have some kind of variety. I wouldn't want to just... If I were going full-time, I would hate doing just build streams. Like, you gotta do other things to keep things fresh, both for yourself and your viewers. So, I don't blame him. I definitely would want some variety as well. Gotta get the viewers, do what is popular more than what you like. I mean, I guess. It seems to be working out pretty well for him, though, as far as I'm aware. I don't know. I can't see myself ever wanting to put out content that I don't want to put out just for viewership. I don't think I've ever done that. I've only ever streamed what I want when I want. And obviously I'm not nearly as big as Nathan, but I've remained happy doing that. He did a couple drop keyboard reviews, which are pretty cringy. Well, he is sponsored by Drop now, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that's right. Are the drop keyboards any good? They're okay. I had one of the 1800. I've used them all. I've used the Alt, I've used the Control, and I've used the Shift. I actually wrote a review on Drop when they sent me a review unit of the Shift, which is like their 1800 style layout. And I told him, like, I'm friends with several people at Drop. Like, I've hung out with them multiple times in person. You know, we've talked about lots of things. I like a lot of the people over there, honestly. They're cool people. But, when one of them reached out to me and was like, hey, you wanna review this? And I was like, yeah, but don't expect like a really good review from me, because like my standards are going to be a lot higher than like any of these other people that you're sending review units to. And sure enough, out of 5 stars or whatever, everyone was giving it 5 stars that reviewed it. You know, there was like 1 4-star review. That I come along with a 3-star review, and I'm like, here's why it's not amazing. It's a decent product, but it's not amazing. I was like, well, I warned you. Like, I'm not gonna review something incorrectly. That's not what I'm about. But you can also, you can be sponsored by a company and not like everything that they do. That's very possible as well. I mean, just look at all the top Clack sponsors. I mean, every single one of them has seen hardships in one way or another, and at one point or another, or maybe even currently, some of them are still offering products that are not that great. It's just part of the life of running a store. You had a Mass Drop Alt and you liked it quite a bit. It's not a bad board. The price is reasonable for the feature set that you get. There are several things I do not like about it, but as far as like a somewhat inexpensive keyboard goes, the quality is honestly not that bad. I mean, it has RGB underglow, it has per key RGB, has PBT keycaps, it's got a metal case, it has magnetic adjustable feet. It's not a bad product, it's not terribly interesting either. Going stepped caps on this. I'm gonna go with Control, since I'm doing split backspace, make it more of an HHKB style, I suppose. This plate is quite something. Riss Zoo is continuing the gift sub they got from Nathan Alphaman. Very nice. Thank you so much. And PMSing Chicken subs tier 1 for 21 months. Hello to you as well. Thank you for being with us for so long, and for having one of the best usernames. It's good enough for the target audience. Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you gotta remember that, do I have enough keys for this? Oh, I have exactly enough. It's win keyless. Okay. I do have enough switches. Literally just enough switches. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, you gotta remember that keyboards like that, they're not aimed at enthusiasts that are used to, you know, buying $500 customs and using GMK sets. It's a totally different audience, and in that sense, Drop does a pretty good job reaching that particular audience. You like the Tokyo 60? Tokyo 60 is pretty good. For the price, it's pretty good. It's not a particularly exciting board, but it has really high value. Has a good feature set for the price. Some of these middle switches are, the plate is a little caved in. So I'm going to try to correct that here. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, it's black magic. That's what it is. Always black magic. An alt is the Ford Mustang of keyboards. Like, sure, it sounds kind of nice, and it's pretty fast and easily attainable, but compared to higher-end cars, it's meh. That's certainly one way to look at it, yeah. Drop's keyboards are very accessible. They're not terribly expensive. And to a lot of people, they're very pretty. You know, they have all the fancy lighting and stuff. It's got a metal case. You know, it's attractive to a lot of people that aren't really, you know, experienced enthusiasts like a lot of us are. Obviously, like I said, we're not the target audience for that kind of product. All right. I think we are good. Mustang is the last thing anyone sees at Cars and Coffee. NK65 is the new hotness in that category IMO, assuming Mike stocks it going forward. Yeah, yeah. I haven't gotten one in hand yet, so I don't know particularly how good it is. But I mean, I imagine it's pretty nice. Got a little bowing in the middle here. Shouldn't really be any problem, but trying to even it out just a little bit here. All right. Let's open up the case. Bottom row on the N65 is meh. NK65. Yeah. Where did my music stop? All right. We're going to do a little bit of a test fit before I actually start soldering. That's the plan, at least. It's basically what should happen here. So should kind of just be able to... Okay, so this is where the plate actually sits in. Again, just doing a little test fit here. So these rubber bands act as the gaskets, and they go around these tabs on the outside of the plate. And then in this particular piece, you can see that there's cutouts in the acrylic to allow extra space for the bands to sit. So fairly rudimentary design, but should be pretty effective nonetheless. So 6 bands in total, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and 1 on each side. I'm really excited for this PLA plate, I gotta be honest with you guys. Alright. Very nice. So that's effectively just going to sit in there. And like that's it. Like that's how this works. So that the plate doesn't screw in anywhere. It just kind of rests on these tabs. Then that goes on. There we go. Then the top will go on. And then that's where it'll screw in. Very nice. Let's do some soldering, shall we? Bauer has to be my favorite bottom row. Bauer's pretty great. That's absolutely the truth. I mean, aesthetically, it looks the best, and it's also quite functional for me at least as well. Not been able to bribe Dixie into selling you one. I'm a little bummed I missed the Bauer. I liked the protos that he brought to the Seattle meetup. They were quite nice. The patented top Clack fume filter, which is of course my Holy Panda shirt. Probably go through and make sure all the switches are actually through, no bent pins. Alright, looking good. All the pins are through. Alright. If you were one of the 72, then you got super lucky and won your spot back in the raffle. I totally forgot about that incident. I like that they just refer to it as the 72. That's pretty funny. I I kind of remember how to do this. This song is bumping. Oh, dang, Friday stream. Yeah, just chilling. You know, I don't have energy in my build streams. I just kind of sit here, pretend to do things, and hope they all go well. I haven't eaten yet today, so I'm really excited. After the stream, I'm going to go get some food, and it's going to be amazing. Sorry if my head's in the way, guys. That's kind of... I habitually hover my head over when I'm soldering. Two rows down, ladies and gentlemen. No one cared who I was until I put the mask on. Yeah, then I still take it off. I just use the blow job tactic where I just, you know, I blow it. I blow it away from me. May I ask how those screwdrivers are treating you? I just ordered the same ones, I think. Yeah, this is the Nanch set. I believe I got it from Amazon. It was somewhere around $18 or $20. I actually like it a lot. It is missing a couple sizes. I think in particular it's the 2.5 hex. But that's not a problem because I also have an iFixit kit which does have a lot more sizes in it. I just prefer physically using this one. So I have all the bits that I need with the addition of my other kit. But I do like this a lot. As long as you can get by without that hex bolt, or you buy one separately for like a couple dollars or whatever. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. You are welcome for the info, sir. Only blue guy. Good luck at work. Swag Mannerer subbing at tier 1 for 6 months. Thank you so much, man. Says, hey, great content. Is there an oversaturation at the moment in the GMK market? Some very well-made group buys are failing or barely passing MOQ. Yeah, I mean, I think what? In December alone, we've had 7 or 8 or 9 sets run on Kono alone. Just Kono. So I think it's very safe to say that the market is very saturated with GMK right now. You know, we're often having 10 to 15 sets run every single month lately, and it's kind of a bummer. I feel like because we went through this change where it used to be, you know, one GMK set group buy every few months. It was a big deal. A lot of people bought into it, and it felt special because it was, you know, it was the only thing that was happening at the time. And then now it's like you can go on a few different websites and you can join, you know, 10, 15, 20 GMK group buys in a month, and something about that takes away from the exclusivity from it, I feel like. But it you know, conversely, there's a lot of options now too. So you have so many different colorways to choose from, so many different vendors to buy from. Overall, it's a good thing, but it's certainly oversaturated, and I think it makes GMK caps not as special, in my opinion. But that could just be like the, you know, back in my day equivalent of the GMK keyboard community. Not that I've been around forever, but a lot longer than a lot of others, I suppose. Definitely something to think about. I think the big runs, like 8008, Dracula, Camping Round 2, and Olivia++ sucked the market dry. Not everyone can afford one set a month. It's true. It's true. But I mean, I kind of feel like, at the same time, the type of people that do buy GMK sets, particularly multiple GMK sets, like even if it's one a month or 2 a month or something, like let's be honest, like we can generally afford that kind of thing. Anyone who's buying, you know, $120 GMK sets can typically afford it. It's not necessarily the value option. There are many other key sets and profiles that you can get for cheaper. So I don't know. GMK's, you know, not cheap. But I mean, then again, it's a hobby. Like, none of us are buying these GMK sets because we need them. We buy them because we want them, because we like them. So I mean, just being in this hobby, and if you plan to buy more than one board and more than one key set, then, you know, we've already passed the point of necessity. And now we're on to just, you know, buying what we want because it's a hobby. And the bottom line is, a lot of us can afford that. There's a certain point where your girlfriend claims you insane. It happens to the best of us, man. Either you have support from the people in your life or you don't. But I mean, I think the majority of people that are in this hobby because they can afford it. You know, if you're worried about, you know, paying your rent and you know, providing food and stuff for your family, then you probably shouldn't be buying GMK sets anyways. Dr. Soka says, "Hey, what's up? May I ask what soldering iron that this is?" So this is the TS100. Yes, the TS100. You can find it all over eBay, Amazon, I think, and many other places. I can't remember how much. I think I paid somewhere around $60 for it. I think it was on sale at the time. Not my favorite soldering iron, if I'm gonna be totally honest. I feel like it's maybe a little inconsistent. It doesn't really feel that good to use. It gets the job done. It's not a bad product, but I've definitely used better ones. It also has an oddly short power cable, and the power brick itself is quite bulky and quite heavy. It does look very cool though, because it has the screen on it, obviously, with your temperature gauge, and it has some features. It gets the job done. I will say that. Alright, so in theory I'm done soldering here. Can bring up something to test with, I suppose. Alright, 100%. That's a pretty good score. I like 100%. Blue rubber bands. Yeah, that's what he sent me. Conveniently, though, they kind of go with these linears, which is kind of ironic. Not ironic, sorry, coincidental. Your wife just looks at the bank account and rolls her eyes these days. That's funny. Thought you bought them specifically for the linears? No. Surprisingly, I didn't. I can see why you would think that, though. Alright, so it looks like I am in there. Let me try to get this evened out just a little bit. Whoops. You stay on there. Okay, that looks pretty even. Go ahead and stick this piece on now. Just gotta line up some of these standoffs. Still not completely a pain-free build, but darn it, it's quite a bit easier than the previous iteration at the very least. Alright, let me screw a couple of these bad boys in. Sorry, my clicks, I don't have an uptime bot. I've been live for 1 minute. Not 1 minute. I've been live for 1 hour, 14 minutes, 35 seconds. AKA 1 minute, apparently. Alright, this is where the part gets a little tricky. So the standoffs kind of spin in there. So you have to kind of put pressure on both sides at the same time. Try to get these evened out a little bit. Thinking about putting GMK Mizu on here. Mainly because I just got it in the other day. And I haven't even really opened it up yet. What do you guys think? Can I get away with Mizu on this? The other choice is Honeywell, which might be my favorite overall GMK set. That and Muted. But I kind of want to try out the Mizu. What do you guys think? Is the blue going to conflict too much? It is a frosted acrylic case, so could look okay. What do you guys think? Mizu? You guys okay with Mizu? Okay, cool. Mizu it is! You love how Mizu turned out? Though it's best on a blackboard. Really? Interesting. I don't know if I entirely agree with that, but I also haven't put mine on a board yet, so I suppose I wouldn't really know. These layered acrylic boards are very, very cheap and very accessible, but man, do they take a lot of screws. Making sure these are properly tight is pretty important here because of the way the mounting system works. Since the plate is literally just held in place by the case itself, these actually have to have a decent amount of pressure on them to keep everything stable. Which is why it's taking me a little bit extra time here. I'm trying to make sure everything's tight and balanced. I think I have just enough screws for this. As it falls into my crotch, the last screw. It's like my autobiography. Quakeum's crotch, the last screw. You guys would buy that, right? You would read that? I wouldn't read it. Alright. I believe that's right. I got all the screws in here. All screws in here. Cool. So, looks like I should be good to go here. I believe this is some kind of like foot system that I can kind of use here. That's what these holes are for. I don't want to do that. I don't like that solution, so I'm not going to use that. What I'm going to do is, after this stream, I'm actually going to order some big bump-ons for back here, like the really, really big ones that I could put back here and give the keyboard a little bit of angle, because otherwise it's completely flat, and I don't like that. But thankfully, bump-ons are very cheap. You can get them very accessibly, so I'm just going to go that route. All right. Let's put a key set on. Should I swap over to my Mizu desk mat as well? That's probably a good idea, right? What do you guys think? Mizu desk mat? Go with the Mizu. This is like my project desk mat. I've used it to solder on and desolder on so many times. It actually has a burn mark right there. You can see there's like basically a hole through the first layer where I decided to rest my soldering iron. Terrible, terrible idea, but it is what it is. That little bit. Bam! Look at this Mizu desk mat. You'll read Quakeum's The Screw and the Q. That'll be a good one, too. Alright. Look at this. Look at this beautifulness. Oh yeah, that's good. Is there a proper orientation for this? Is this right? Or does it go the other way? I don't actually know. I feel like it's kind of designed to be used both ways. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like this unless someone corrects me. And even then I probably won't change it, because that's just the kind of person I am. This is proper. That's pretty nice, right? I gotta make sure not to solder and desolder on this one so I don't, like, ruin it. That's pretty, though. Oh, based on the letter, you're right. I think this is proper. This looks more like a Japanese character versus it being upside down. Man, we're going blue today. Call me Eiffel 65. Or whatever that one-hit wonder band was called. So you take a look at the banderole here. I don't know. I'm not saying this is a Mizu unboxing of any sort, but just in case anyone's curious, doesn't have the set. Maybe they wanted to see the artwork here. Okay, look. Look at that. Now we know we have the proper orientation on our desk mat. Or wait, no. Does it go like this because this text is up? Oh no! What a nightmare! How am I supposed to figure this out, guys? This looks proper, right? That makes sense? That's kind of funny that if this is the way it's supposed to be, that this text would be upside down as well. This set is hurting my brain. I'm gonna assume I have everything the proper way, but yeah, there's the banderole there. All right, this looks like the accent keys. Let me actually bring this set up, just so I can see it as well. Okay, yeah, so some accents there, as well as what looks to be my 7U spacebar, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. Let's open up this crap. Look at this. Look at this. Just falling apart already. This is why I hate these. These all just go straight in the trash right afterwards. Can't even open this side one because there's no space to grab it. And that just came right out as well. I hate GMK trays, man. So stupid. That one just came out as well. Get me away from these GMK trays, man. I don't want this garbage. Alright. The interior had a cool graphic? The interior of the banderole? Oh shit, you're right. Oh wow. That's really interesting. Well, considering I'm gonna show this. Where are my scissors at? I'm gonna ruin this banderole for you guys so you guys can see. I'm gonna grab my scissors. I'll be right back. I never wind up keeping this stuff anyways because I'm not really a collector, so to speak, and I value space more than stuff. So this is gonna wind up being thrown away anyways. So I'm just going to kind of ruin it for you guys. Jay shut off. Do you guys not want me to cut it? It's going in the garbage regardless, so I might as well show you guys. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, like the artwork is fun and stuff, but I don't know if I necessarily cut it in the right place, but I cut it to where you can see everything, so that's probably good enough. So that's kind of cool. That's a fun little surprise. I wonder why they put that on the inside. Like, because obviously normal people aren't going to cut this like I did. Possibly worth the cut. Yeah, no, this is really cool. I like that. All right. So what are we doing here? Do we want accents on this? What do you guys think? Press 1. 1 in chat for no accents, 2 for accents. One for no accents, 2 for accents. Or maybe we just try both. Do we just try both? This is a very unprofessional stream I have going right now. Hmm. 1 F 2 3 3 2 2 1. All right, you guys are pretty split. I guess we'll try them both. We'll try without accents first, and then we'll see what happens. Don't worry, guys. We'll just try them both. I made you vote for no reason. I made you vote just to show that I had the power that I could. That's how awful a presenter I am. I'm gonna go with the mod colored pipe. I know some people freak out about that, but I appreciate the color symmetry more than I appreciate knowing that this is an alpha. Because even though I'm colorblind, I can still tell that even though it's mod colored, it's still an alpha. I know what this does. I know exactly what that key does. I don't need it to be alpha colored to show what it does. I'm gonna go with the scooped. No, I'm sorry, not the scooped. I'm gonna go with the pipe F and J. I've been enjoying that a little bit more lately. The Bard, I guess. Could have done a straw poll. Yeah. I'm not always a very smart man. Aren't you using split backspace though? I'm using split backspace, yes, you're right. Thanks for reminding me. So I will go with a split backspace cap instead. It's because I'm so hungry I forget what I'm doing. What should I eat after the stream? That's the real question on my mind. I probably could have lined this plate up a little bit tighter. Should work though. Oh, this plate is so soft. Alright. I'm going with the, this I do know what I'm doing with. Going with the mod-colored tilde there, just to trigger some people. But it gives me the color symmetry that I want. It's actually not looking too bad. GMK trays aren't even, like, they're so pointless because you can't even fit all the caps in there anyways. Then they give you these, like, throwaway trays, which, like, come on, it's literally like a tiny piece of plastic on top of a tiny piece of cardboard that has shrink wrap on it. Like, what are you supposed to do with the extra keys once you open this little pack up? Because you can't put them in here. Just another reason GMK trays make 0 sense. Costs more money to make your life more miserable. Oh golly. That is quite flexy. Alright. Let's see. Just gonna go over here. Oh wait, no, I gotta potentially try these accents, huh? That one. That one. Right into the trash it goes, where it belongs. As for the rest of these keys, right into the trash where it belongs. That's actually my bed, not the trash, but you get the idea. Alright. Let's plug this bad boy in. I'll have to change these LEDs to not be red. It's probably better with my lights off, actually. Well, it's red anyways, so looks bad. Alright. Let's do a little typing test. Kind of want to put something under this just for angle, but I guess that might impede the sound as well. Whoops. Need a new layout on this as well. I'm going to pause the music temporarily. Then do a little bit of typing. With my mic a little bit closer. I'm terrible at snapping. My fingers just don't want to work. It's very poppy. It's very lively. Oh man, that's a lot of flex too. I don't know how well that actually shows up on stream. It's a lot of flex though. I mean, it's partly because of the board, I think, too. But like, kind of just like push it all in. It's pretty nice. That PLA plate, very flexy. Sounds light. It does sound pretty light, actually. You're right. It's not bad, though. I wonder what it would sound like. Something under it. Wish I need some huge bump-ons. But that's not going to work. So I'm going to go with something totally random here. This is my tweezer kit, which has a very kind of soft, leathery plastic case. I'm just going to put that under here for some angle. Arguably too much angle. Just to see how it sounds different when it's, you know, elevated from the actual desk mount itself. Sounds a little bit fuller that way. Yeah, so I think the kind of final result here is that you can't. I'm gonna say you can't get like a really, really nice, elegant, super epic, amazing gasket mount and/or isolation mount experience without spending the money. It's almost as good. Like, this is actually surprisingly good. But it feels like it falls just a little bit short of something a lot nicer. But those nicer things are, you know, 3, 4, 5 times the money or more. So, you know, for this, I would say it's quite nice for $100. Obviously, that doesn't get you switches, caps, and a PCB, but you know, for after some basic stuff, it's still what, a $200 build after switches and PCB and stabilizers and some reasonably priced caps. It's definitely a nice intro into gasket mounting, I guess. This PLA plate is actually kind of insane. The camera has a lot of trouble picking this up, but there is quite a bit of flex throughout the board. I like it though. Pretty darn good for the price. Let's throw some accents on, see what that looks like. Uh-oh, might have the plate a little too far on the right side. Come on, get in there. There we go. What do you guys think? Accents? No accents? Did I just ruin it with the accents? No accents, never accent. That's kind of generally how I feel as well. I need to change these lights. wonder if I have a layer for that. I think I do. No keycaps on enter and escape? Wow, that's pretty hardcore. Minimalist approach. I'm gonna go with without the accents here. I think the accents are alright, but I think those accents definitely would look better on a darker board. Mizu, pretty good looking set though. I will say. I was hoping that the alphas would come out a little bit lighter than this. Because I feel like in the renders they look a little bit lighter. I'm just comparing it up to the Mizu render I have open on my PC right now. Could just be my monitor, but the alphas definitely look a little bit lighter in the renders to me. They look a little bit more saturated on the actual keycaps. Am I alone on that? Does everyone else feel that way as well? It's true, okay. I'm not crazy. It still looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I was hoping for the slightly lighter alphas. Where it's like super light sky blue almost. Usurper says, now on a more serious note, I usually like it, but I would say all black is better on this. All black is better with the Mizu? It could be, yeah. I kind of just wanted an excuse to use this. And I was kind of fitting a blue theme there as well. For sure not looking like the renders? Okay, I guess I'm not crazy then. Which is good. I don't particularly want to be crazy. It's more in your face, yeah, for sure. But still turned out like a pretty nice set. This board came out pretty well as well. I need to get some bump-ons so I can get this at a little bit of an angle here, and I can actually use it because I can't really use flat boards very well. Alright guys, well, I'm going to be heading off in just a moment. If you guys have any last minute questions, now's a good time to get those in. Also, what should I go eat? That's the real question. Bread pudding, pho, wings. So, some random options. Bread pudding, I feel like is. Don't get me wrong, I like bread pudding, but I feel like that's a random meal. Pho, I might do pho. I'm always craving something Vietnamese. Skewers, that sounds pretty good. Kimchi, I do love kimchi. I had Korean food the other day. As a programmer, do you think I would be fine with a 60% keyboard? I'm really afraid of losing my arrow keys. That's a hard question for me to answer because I am not a programmer. I have no idea, you know, the frequency at which you use specific keys, but I would say that if you need arrow keys and they're that important, then you might want to stay away from a 60, unless you're okay with using them on a function layer. Put them on a layer under WAS. That's what I do too, but that often requires, you know, two hands, depending on where you have your function. Some people like to put their function where caps lock is, because a lot of people don't use caps lock, so you can kind of just function like this. That way you can get your pinky on the function key, then use your arrows like this. So I don't know, it's kind of preferential. I think the easiest solution would probably just be going for a 65% keyboard, which isn't very much larger than this, but does have the dedicated arrows for you. Just trying to get some input from someone that codes on a daily basis. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not me. Probably have quite a few programmers in chat, though. Jerk chicken? That sounds pretty good. Depleted Vespine says, I am a programmer, and I say no arrow keys in the base layer is bad, bad, bad. I know quite a few programmers that actually use 40% on a daily basis. Like, that's what they like. And apparently they claim to be more efficient on it. I mean, at the end of the day, it really just kind of relies on you, how you feel about it, and how comfortable you are with the scenario. I feel like 65% is kind of just the easy route, though, because really it's not that much bigger. I mean, it's, you know, only roughly one row, one column, I mean, larger. So still a pretty compact board, all things considered. I'm a programmer and I use 40% no problem, says Newton Apple. Yeah, there are quite a few people, quite a few programmers out there that like the 40%. Cast9 says I'm a programmer and I never use arrow keys. Ah, interesting. You don't feel comfortable. The more you watch keyboards, the more you hesitate in investing in a 60%. Yeah, 60% was, for me, it was a really easy jump because I'm not a programmer. I don't have a job where I use a keyboard. It's strictly, you know, for my own personal use. So 60% was pretty easy for me. I mean, I got a Poker 2 in 2014, I think. And that was my intro into 60%. And it blew my mind with how small it was. But I kind of just never really looked back, and 60% since then has just been my preferred layout. Mainly because I don't need arrow keys, and when I do need them, I have them pretty accessibly. So yeah, it does depend on where the function key is, but also on like any good board, any non-OEM board is going to be fully programmable, generally speaking. For instance, this one is, pretty much everything in my collection is. If you're buying a 60%, there's a good chance you're going to have programmability, so you can move arrow keys around. Some people like the HHKB approach, where it's you know, the function is right here where I have it, then your arrows are like IJKL or OKL colon or something like that. Or you can put function here, like I was saying earlier, and use WASD as your arrows. You can kind of just do whatever you want. That's the beauty of fully programmable keyboards. You just put things where you want them, and could be a lot better for you. JT Jet says, I'm a CS student, and I can use HHKB arrows just as fast with the normal ones. Yeah, a lot of people can. Always comes down to the person, right? Only 60% you have Sirius. Don't think you need another. Sirius is a good board, man. I think it's one of the best boards of the year. I agree with Neb. I also hate dedicated arrows on a 60. You can do it. Some PCBs and cases obviously will allow it, but it does stagger this row, which feels awkward to type on, and then it makes this cluster over here incredibly cramped, and it looks visually quite off. Whereas something like this looks a lot cleaner, a lot simpler, but obviously doesn't have the same dedicated arrow functionality. Talisman here, gifting a tier 1 sub to Windsock. Thank you so much, man. 217 gift subs, that's nuts. That is definitely more than anyone else. Alright guys, well it's time for me to wrap up and go get some dinner. This was a pretty successful build. Definitely a lot easier to put together the Perry60 V2 versus the Perry60 V1, which I struggled quite a bit with. This was a lot more user-friendly. I appreciate that. Build was quicker, easier. And I like the way it came out, too. Just needs some bump on feet to give a little bit of angle, and then it'll be quite nice and usable for me. But yes. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream as much as I enjoyed doing it. Make sure you check below the stream. You can find links to a bunch of different things, as well as our Discord channel and YouTube channel. You come hang out with us in Discord, talk about food, or whatever. You know, you do you. You are welcome, Karcha. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah. I'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to tune into our main flagship show, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, every single week. We talk about keyboard news and all that good stuff. Day, night, afternoon. I know there's European viewers and such in the chat, so I don't want to assume anyone's time zone. So I just hope everyone has a great rest of their day, afternoon, night, morning, whatever. Enjoy your lives. How about that one? And have a good weekend. Alright. Goodbye, everyone.